Good morning. It's been a while since I put a video out because, well, we've been busy, very busy. And I didn't want to kind of chop up a video, So I figure I'll make this one long one and show you what we've done so far. But paint and other things are coming soon. Roof tomorrow. Let me show you what we have going on. Well, we are done with the siding. I'll show you the whole house. Pretty excited about it. Turned out great. Black roof is coming along tomorrow, but we're gonna get this place painted up until I'm tired. We've been working our butts off. And I have to paint these windows black. And that'll come in the paint process, but today I got to get up on the roof and take off one of the chimneys because they're doing drywall today and then roofing tomorrow. And then I'm responsible for caulking and painting the whole house. And you see the leftover material we have, the piles of debris and stuff we have. And then we're building a deck back here, but we're going to wait on that until we get done with everything. And we're not going to attach it to the house. That's the one thing we're not going to do this time, is attach it to the house. We're actually going to free float it and put posts up, and we're going to pressure wash all this brick. Now, Atomic Exteriors did all of this. They're a great company. They weren't perfect, but they were great. And what wasn't perfect, they fixed. And that's all you can ask for from a company. So I highly recommend them. They do a great job. Let me show you what we have going on in here. Backer board and cabinets. So these are ATA cabinets, or RTA, which is ready to assemble cabinets. They're plywood cabinets. They're in moss green and they're shaker style. And then this wall, this is kind of where some things went, not great. So we had this whole wall torn down, or torn apart. Let me turn this on, I'm sorry. And basically what happened is the guys who framed this did not do a good job. In fact, they did a pretty terrible job. They installed the windows wrong, and they did a bunch of other stuff wrong. And basically the framing was just one big beam they made out of 3 2x4s here, which gave it very little structural support. So what we had to do is come in. Now that thing ain't going nowhere. We had to put 3 together to give it vertical support because the horizontal support was not enough to do it. And we had to put these windows in. There's a place in George that I bought these windows from, and I forget the name of it, but they're the only black interior, black exterior casement windows that you can find that are in stock, and they are pieces of crap. So highly recommend you don't buy these if you find them online. Do not buy those. They're crap. But what we'll do is just keep them, and we won't open them very often unless we absolutely have to. This right here is going to be the back deck, and this is the only door we left in. You can see where I said we were going to pressure wash. This is actually going to be the door out, and then I'll show you some other stuff. Now, we have been working, I have, and Mr. Mac have been working on these bathrooms. We got all the flooring tore out. We took out this laundry completely. There was a 220 outlet here. There was draining, there was plumbing. We took all that out. We moved it downstairs. We removed the outlets, and this is getting drywalled today. This used to be a doorway to a closet. We took that out. And then this is gonna be my kids' bathroom. Very simple tub and shower that does not have to be maintained. We can just wash down, it'll be done. If you know me, I like simplicity. I don't like very complicated stuff, which is why we're doing the vinyl surrounds in the kids' rooms, because I just don't want to maintain it. This room is also ready. This is getting drywall today. We're getting new lighting fixtures. I have an electrician coming out today to replace that light and figure out what's going on with the light switches. These drywall cracks are getting repaired. And then I have been staining wood trying to match that. It's not a perfect match, but it's pretty daggone close. I had to make my own stain color. And then the master bath, this light does not work, so I'm gonna have to get that. And then this one, I just put this new light and fan combo in there. This was a doorway we took out and put a window in. So now it's just a cozy little bathroom. And again, vinyl surrounds. Why vinyl surrounds? Because they don't leak. If you have vinyl, if you have tile, it will eventually leak. I don't care what anybody says, it'll eventually leak. This, if we ever want to put tile in, we can unscrew this from right here. We can take the vinyl out and we can go straight up with tile and no one will ever know the difference. We can do that in the future if we want to, or for resale value way down the road. But we had to reframe all of this. And then what I decided to do in here, because this wallpaper was glued straight to basically the drywall with very little protectant. So every time you pull off a piece, you end up taking some of the drywall off, which is a pain. So what I'm gonna do is board and batten, then I'm gonna do tongue and groove all the way up on this wall, and it'll protect it and it'll look really cool. And I'll show you what that looks like at the end of this project. This is the stain color that I ended up making myself because I couldn't find what I was looking for. And it is a mix of orange, red, and brown that comes out pretty close to what we originally had. So you can see that. But when this gets coated polyurethane on, it'll match much more. Very fun. That's all I have for this update, but we will be done hopefully in 2 weeks. That's the goal anyways, and be in the house by mid-September, because deer season starts September 15th, and I don't like having too much stuff to do during deer season, but we're gonna try to get it done. Thanks for following along, and I will update everybody when I have an update, but that should be next week. So see you soon.